All right. So the good news is that we have Marvel. Was it Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection? Just making sure I get the name correct. That is coming out at some point this year, which is really good. I think some prices are starting to pop up that we're seeing. And but what we found is like an absolute sort of outcry from the Xbox community, asking why is this game not being put on Xbox? In fact, while the PS5 is backwards compatible, it is interesting to note that they are not putting it on the PS5 exclusively either, like as in like another platform, right? So it's only going to be PS4, Steam, so PC, and Nintendo Switch. Now, I did some research into this because I think there might be an answer to this, right? This is over on eventhubs.com. It says, why is the new Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game or fighting collection skipping Xbox and PlayStation 5? So it says here that despite the MVC collection being revealed during this week's Nintendo Direct, Capcom was also releasing the arcade staples on PS4 and Steam as well as the Nintendo Switch, which leaves out the PlayStation 5 and importantly the Xbox ecosystem completely. After doing some more digging and talking to those involved with game development, it seems we have some answers as to why the Marvel collection is skipping PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, as well as likely ones for the Xbox One. Since Capcom began creating their own compilations in-house since 2017 or 2018 with the likes of Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle and Mega Man X Legacy Collections, I forgot about them. They built the titles on MT Framework. MT Framework dates back all the way to Dead Rising and Lost Planet, where it became the proprietary game engine for Capcom to use throughout the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 era until it slowly stopped being used for new titles around 2015 for the most part, besides Monster Hunter World's upgraded version. While we don't have direct confirmation yet that the Marvel vs. Capcom collection also uses MT Framework, it appears to be built on the same skeleton as the Capcom Fighting Collection from 2022, which makes it by far the most likely candidate. The problem with that, however, is that MT Framework does not officially support PlayStation 5 nor Xbox Series X and S. So that's why the Capcom Fighting Collection and the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles don't have new generation versions. Capcom has moved on to using RE Engine in their new original titles since Resident Evil 7, so they don't seem too keen on going back and putting in the extra work on their engine from 2 generations ago that's almost 20 years old. So the same applies to Marvel 2, except at least PS5 owners can still buy and play the collection with backwards compatibility through the PS4 version. So, to add further insult to injury with this, I suppose you could say, it says, but the Capcom Fighting Collection had an Xbox One port. Why doesn't Marvel get one? At first, we thought maybe Microsoft changed their policy in the past year or two to make developers release Xbox Series X and S versions of games and not solely on Xbox One. After talking to a few people more familiar with the current game development, however, that doesn't exactly seem to be the case. Microsoft reportedly will still let devs release Xbox One games without official series versions through policy dictates they should still be optimized for the newer consoles. So, man, this is not good, right? This is not good. Right, Windows Central reportedly has a source that claims Capcom likely won't be bringing any more MT Framework games to Xbox. According to them, Capcom has no pipeline for porting older MT Framework titles to Xbox modern era system, so while it may technically be possible to do so, porting more games over to Xbox may not be worth the added cost and development time to Capcom anymore for comparatively, I'm going to get that right soon enough, lower sales than the PS4, Switch, and PC. This could also help explain the Xbox absence of other recent titles like Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. This obviously doesn't mean that Capcom is abandoning the Xbox at all, with the latest Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and of course Street Fighter 6 all releasing on Microsoft consoles. Just don't expect any more collections on Xbox, it seems, as long as Capcom continues to rely on its versatile yet aged MT Framework engine. The lack of PS5 and Xbox X support could hinder the hopes of reinvigorated fans to hoping that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 will get an updated release on newer hardware with rollback netcode too. So, that's not good, right? If that is indeed true, right, then, like, that's not good. Like, why? Oh my god. Now, keep in mind, like, keep in mind, right? These are old games, yeah? So, even if you have a marginally functioning PC, there should be no doubt at all that you should be able to buy these games on Steam and play them on Steam, right? Obviously, you're not going to be able to buy it on PS5. You're obviously not going to be able to buy it on Xbox. So your only three options are literally the Switch, PS4, or the Steam release. Now again, right? Yes, it's backwards compatible on the PS4, but again, it would be nicer for those that do have a PS5, sorry, backwards compatible PS5. It would be nicer for those on PS5 to have a native release, right? This is sort of, it's so weird. Like, you do a collection like this, and then you start to have these weird restrictions. It's dumb. Now, over here on IGN, it talks about the no Xbox trends as fans hit out at Marvel vs. Capcom collection, skipping Microsoft's consoles. So after everything that I've just read, right, you would think that given the amount of money that they have and stuff like that, considering the massive release this is going to be, skipping an entire ecosystem of console is not going to be good, right? It says here, it's an absolute gut punch. It's not coming to Xbox, especially considering Ace Attorney Investigations was announced for Xbox. Someone else added the other Capcom collection announced on the presentation is coming to Xbox, so they clearly are not against putting their games on the console. Then why is MVC not coming? I know I'm in a minority here. Well, that's the thing though, like these games are really popular. Like, this is probably going to be the biggest collection that they've released so far. The biggest collection they've released, right? And I don't understand why they wouldn't just, you know, just figure a way around it. We can get old games that were released on older operating systems for PC running in the modern day, whether it be like some patch updates, you know, obviously from people that have worked, you know, behind the scenes to get this sort of stuff, you know, running properly so we can actually play these older games on modern systems. It's very possible. I don't understand why they can't do it, right? It's going to be a huge release. It is going to be a gigantic release because these are really great, you know, these are really great compilations that they're putting out, collections. Starting to believe the empty framework for Xbox One is dead theory. It explains all the skips for the platform. Great Ace Attorney, Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, Mega Man Battle Network, and then, of course, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. So, what I hope out of all of this is that Capcom are taking a good hard look at this situation and going, look, we can't do like eventually the PS4 is going to be out of circulation, right? Now, while the PS5 is backwards compatible, like it can play obviously the games backwards compatible, do you really want to rely on that? Do you really want to be selling games to a dead store or a dying platform when you're trying to push the new one? I know it's not going to be like a God of War release or, you know, Ghost of Tsushima type release game, but it's going to be massive, especially massive for fighting game fans, right? And Capcom needs to really have a good hard look at this and go, okay, what can we do? Because that way they can, I mean, think about it, right? They can then release these games onto the modern platforms. They've updated their coding and network and all that horse shit that they do, you know, because I'm not a programmer, right? But they've updated all of that so that way they can bring out all of this stuff for players to enjoy in the modern day, right? and then you don't have to worry about this crap ever again. Like, ever. It's like when they released, it wasn't Capcom, it was Sega that did it. It's when they released Virtual Fighter. Right, when they released, what was it, Virtual Fighter 5, was it Final Showdown, or whatever it was called, the Last Showdown, right? They released it on the PS4. What are you doing? Right? Like, Sony are trying to get people from PS4 to PS5, yeah? Or anyone buying a new console to PS5. And if you're a gigantic fan of these games, and you're looking to get a console to play them on, well, outside of PC, you're going to be looking at the PS4. And they're going to go, what? So, in order for me to, again, you can get a PS5 and play them backwards compatible. But what happens if, something gets delisted? What if these got delisted one day? Right, from the PS4 store? Because Sony cuts they just cut the PS4 off completely at the knees. They're like, nah, we're done with PS4. We're closing the shop down. So then people can't buy it. Unless they do some sort of hybrid version, which I'm assuming there is. I don't own a PS5. Where people can buy essentially I don't know, legacy releases that were had on PS4 or whatever. I don't know, it just sounds like a shit show. They need to figure it out. Because this is huge. I'm fine, I'm on Steam, obviously Nintendo people and PS4 people and PS5 people are fine. But this screams to a larger issue, and I think Capcom, you've got to start figuring it out, because you are creating a series here, right? We had the Street Fighter 1, we've had the Capcom Fighting Collection, we've got, obviously got Capcom Arcade Stadiums, Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle, and then of course we're going to be getting this one, So let me know what you guys think. Keep letting them know. Keep being loud and proud about this, because they need to absolutely fix this. They need to fix this so that way, this doesn't become a long-term problem down the track. Anyway, catch you next time.